Is selling prints of your pet portrait commissions a good idea, and how to do it? Hi, I'm Sema Martin. I'm a pet portrait artist and I have been for the last 10 years. And today I'd really like to talk to you about prints. So fine art prints are normally the next thing to sell for when you're doing original artwork. So whether that's like your own original artwork or pet portrait commissions, a print is like the next logical thing to sell passively, to sell on the side, to make, it more of an income stream, to allow you to do more original artwork, basically. So in terms of selling pet portrait prints, I used to try and sell prints of my pet portrait commissions, but I do find that it's a hard sell because I discovered that people don't actually want to buy hyper-realistic prints of somebody else's pet. It's very different if you've got like an illustrative style or something that's slightly less detailed. But I have hyper-realistic work, as you can see behind. I love realism. That's what I do. So I'm very good at recreating people's pets from photos, basically. And that's what I guess has made my artwork less desirable to others, with even if they have the same breed of pet, they don't want just any Maine Coon drawing. They want their own. So that's personally what I have found. It hasn't been as lucrative to sell prints of my commissions to everyone. So I did an Etsy shop. I did all of that. I had them on there. They sold terribly. I sold one or two, but it didn't really work, to be honest. I also did the thing of like stickers. So I used Redbubble. And I did them on stickers and merch and that kind of stuff. And again, it was a very hard sell to everyone. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, because I found that prints of an artwork was a great upsell to that commissioned client. So now that's what I offer. So when someone commissions me for an original piece of artwork, I then offer, would you like a fine art print copy of that commission as an additional fee? And more often than not, people do want that. So not only am I making money from the commission itself, I'm also making an additional add-on for the print as well. And that's been really helpful and a really nice way to also help the client show off their commission as much as possible. So in some circumstances, they have commissioned me, they've got the commission in their house, but then they want the print to take to work and have in their office, or to send to somebody else who also loves the dog or the cat just as much. So it's been a really good way to, I guess, advertise your work and spread it further, and to be able to give more to the client, add a better service. Now, the way to create fine art prints of your artwork, no matter what direction you want to go in, the first thing you need to do is digitize it. So it really does depend on what surface your artwork is created on. I personally use paper. I've got a video on here about how I digitize my artwork on paper. So if you did canvas artwork, very large, or any sculptures or anything like that, you would need to photograph it, very high quality photograph. So you need a very high quality digital version of your original artwork. And then I would search online in your country, it's very country dependent, for giclée fine art prints. It's a French word, so it's spelled Giclee, giclée, something like that. I'm sorry if that's completely wrong. I will put it in the description below. So you need to search for giclée fine art prints. That is the term for a good quality print. You don't want to just do any kind of like poster printing and stuff. It's not going to show your artwork to the best of its ability, basically. So you need a giclée print. I'm in the UK, so I personally go through Redcliffe Imaging, which is a Bristol company, a company in Bristol. So all I do is upload my digital print, my digital version of my artwork. I select what paper to use, so they can send you samples of their paper. They've got so many different papers, and I specifically chose a paper that is most like the paper that I draw on. So they also do canvas prints and things like that. So I want my print to be as much like the original as possible. So I went through their papers, I selected a paper that looks as much like the original paper as possible, so when it's printed on there it looks very identical to the original itself. And then they also provide certificates. So that's what I really liked about this company, that they also provided a print certificate. So you could also say whether that's print is limited edition or open edition, so if there's a limited amount that you're printing, or if it's open so you can just print as many as you like. I personally do the open print edition option, just so then it gives me allowance in the future if my client wants to have more prints done, or if I do end up selling them as more prints, then I would have the certificate as an open edition version. So I like that this company gives me certificates as well as the high quality artwork itself. There are other platforms like Printful and printed.com and things like that now say that they do fine art prints. I personally would get a sample first before you use the companies, because you want to make sure they are actually fine art. You want to make sure they're good enough quality to best represent your original artwork. And then it's important to also ask the client themselves. So if you do want to go down the route of having the prints publicly available for anyone to purchase, ask the customer first, mainly out of respect. Yes, technically you own now the copyright to that artwork you've created, so you can technically do whatever you want with it. But when, as a pet portrait artist, when it is like a memorial portrait, you know, it's more personal. That person's commissioned you to draw their pet that is no longer with them. It's personal, it's emotional, it's a delicate subject. So I would ask the client's permission, can I sell copies of this commission? You know, be respectful. It's just about being respectful in that sense. So always ask the permission for the client to sell the commission publicly as a print, or any merch or anything that you decide to put it on. It's just out of respect, and it's nice for the client because you want to keep that relationship going. You don't want to burn any bridges, because they could commission you again in the future, tell their friends and family, all that kind of thing. Repeat clients is where I make most of my income from, so it's important to have a good relationship with your clients. So that is how I would create prints. If you want to know any more about growing your pet portrait commission business, then you can now download your free brochure about the Business of Pet Portraits course and learn all about it, see if it's for you, and I will see you next time.